I think this is around 2 kilometers of something, and this is 600 meters in width. In general, this is the image. And I'm talking about Munich. Munich is the innovative region in Germany, of course. And its successful story has inspired a lot of cities because they have mixed economic functions as well as diversity. And it also represents the very lowest unemployment rate and the lowest social segregation. And what it really matters is actually the Olympic Games in 1972. It becomes a spur to stimulate urban growth. And again, the compact city idea remains very valid, also in a very early stage. Even the urban renewal, even from the compact city idea, even to this one, Perspective Munich in 1998, this still remain amazingly the same slogan: compact, urban, green. They don't have, they don't produce anymore the so-called strategic planning, but the Perspective Munich is a long-term monitoring about the whole. It's more like holistic approach to monitoring the development of the city. But the idea is still compact. Oh, why it comes to here? Okay, see, it's during the in the past 150 years, Munich remains rather compact. And even in 1963, the so-called Jensen plan, they have already used scientific method to predict the future urban growth together with the public transport link. And fortunately, in this plan, they were thinking to build up so-called sub-centers because in order to accommodate further future growth. But further on, this idea has been overruled because they want to intensify the inner area instead of going expansion. So that idea remains from 60s until now. And this is called city with the equal city idea. Every citizen is equal, and this reflects on the housing typology. Until now, 2008, it remains, the red dots are the proposed ideas to make the city more compact. And on the other hand, they have so-called socially integrative city, because they know that the hard approach sometimes is not sufficient. They have to use some kind of soft program, and actually it means establish some agents in some local areas to monitor, to negotiate. And among these three cases, they all have this kind of soft program installed. Again, the large urban projects are still very, this is the boundary of the city, is still aiming to make the city more compact. Like this one, the previous airport area now has been renewed as a Messerstadt Ram. They mixing with the industry, housing, in particularly social housing. And I have to say, among all the projects that I've seen, in Germany, the social housing delivery rate is rather high. If you look at Zaudas, they're also promising to deliver a lot of social housing, but in the end, fail. No, it's not going to happen. But in this case, it's almost finished, achieved the goal that they wanted. Okay, Stockholm. I think I have to speed up because there are so other cases. Well, even though there are several different generations of planning ideas, from garden city practice until the intensive, even clear of inner city area, and even more the so-called ABC town, but it's different from the Dutch ABC policy in the 80s, in the 90s. This is more, the ABC stands for working, dwelling, and center. So all this take place, again, along very closely linked with the regional public transport corridor, where you can see they have different scales, and scale serves different scale of community. And this actually is the problem of the housing areas in Stockholm, because in order to accommodate urban growth, they have built so-called medium programs, trying to build this kind of countries lab to accommodate the migrations and so on. And this is a broad range of large urban projects in the regional scale because you can see the diversity and also the attributes they are looking at. So in general, we can see again, they starting from 80s, they have this kind of movement called building city inwards. Again, intensification, and you can see all the projects are really making efforts to that directions. This is one of the example. They used a brown field. It's called Hammarby Sjöstad, and it was a very highly polluted area. But now they changed into a very livable and a very popular destination. But what is different is they use really a strong design guideline in order to make connection with the inner city center. Not saying that it's inside, so I design by myself. They always have this idea to connect using this design ideas. And this is the airport city idea. Now they are developing, again, like previous one, they are developing the corridor between the airport and the inner city, seeing as a business opportunity. So let me see. Okay, so the three cities have a leading core, despite recent promotion of polycentric development. Subcenters are with mixed-use functions and are highly density around public transport. So compact city policy has been a major concern for urban development in these three cases. And these three cases also present as an internet transport hub. And they also show that the interconnectivity in three levels, international, regional, and city level, are excellent. So, okay, I will skip it. And for me, the large urban project is more mature, and they always have very consistent idea. So because I did not show it here, but I examined the programs and how they process, and especially how public-private involved, not only dominant on one side, and even local community. So coming back, the second case is lower GDP per capita. The lowest is Lisbon and Berlin and Barcelona. And Berlin's economic base is weaker than the other established region. I'll start with Berlin, because the R&D is relatively low, right behind me, falling behind Munich, Frankfurt, and Hamburg. And contrary to the high expectations of economic growth of Berlin following the reunification, the economic performance has been very much below average as compared with German's national figures. And high unemployment rate, high social segregations, and Berlin has so far not able to attract so-called multinational companies. Even companies has left the city, like Siemens, they left to Munich already. And however, being Germany's new capital city brings new opportunity. So Berlin is not lacking of planning ideas. However, some major ideas have never been realized because of historical stages. And Berlin is one of the very active player in producing large urban projects. But this brings a dilemma. It creates such incredible financial burden. So the Senate has to cut down half of the projects and so on in order to save more budgets. And in the case of Lisbon, the urban development is planning tool, because Lisbon is now is a growing region in terms of service sector. But this growth of service sector is accompanied by so-called poverty, because urban deprivation, urban environmental degradation, poor housing quality, and poor public space, and especially inefficient public transport system. Which means it's kind of uneven distribution of social class. So I'll show you later on. Lisbon has been divided by the river, and then there's a north-south divide. And in terms of urban governance, Lisbon depends on the system of voluntary inter-organizational cooperation involving different bodies based on different geographical contexts. And this creates chaotic situation as well as confusions. And the latest one is the strategic